Hi, movies recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to clarify a 2021 American activity and dream film called Mortal Kombat. 1617 in Japan, Hanzo Hasashi is living calmly in his compound with his significant other, child, and infant little girl. As he disappears to gather water in the well, abruptly a resident gets killed, which panicked them. As the executioner, named by Han, breaks into Hanzo's home, the spouse conceals the child under the floor and endeavors to flee with her child, yet gets found out. Han can project ice from his body and he utilizes it to undermine them. Hanzo hears his better half's shout and quickly runs back to his home. Tragically, he is as well late and observes his relative stung to death. A few professional killers appear, however are wiped out effectively by the grieving Hanzo. Understanding that the professional killers continue to come, he takes the kunai and butchers all Han's men individually. He pursues Han, observing that he has been hanging tight for him. The two participate in a battle and Han figures out how to cut Hanzo in the stomach with his kunai. The battle proceeds and is won by the professional killer, who strikes the kunai profound into Hanzo's shoulder. The perishing Hanzo hears his child crying in the home. He takes a stab at slithering toward the house, yet he kicks the bucket prior to contacting her. As the body catches fire, a mythical serpent-formed imprint on his arm is uncovered. A couple of seconds after the fact, Master Raiden shows up at the town and takes Hanzo's little girl with him. Composing seems telling that the Earthrealm's presence is undermined by Outworld and will be completely attacked, assuming that they lose the impending competition. The main expect Earthrealm is the Cho's champions joined by the relatives of Hanzo Hasashi. Back to the current day, Cole Young is contending in a MMA competition where he gives an extreme battle to his rival. Be that as it may, he at last gets thumped and taps out before he is gagged into obviousness. After the battle, Cole, who is joined by his little girl Emily, is defied by Jax Briggs, who sees that the contender has a mythical serpent mark like Hanzo's. He guarantees that it is only a skin coloration and nothing is extraordinary with regards to that. They then, at that point, leave him. In Outworld, Han, who currently has changed into Sub-Zero, approaches his lord, Shang Tsung, who is stressed over the prescience. He persuades his lord that they will not lose the competition since Hanzo and all his bloodline have been completely killed hundreds of years prior. Shang orders Sub-Zero to go to the Earthrealm and kills every one of the excess bosses previously the competition initiates. Cole and his better half Allison take their girl out for supper when unexpectedly snow starts to fall, notwithstanding it is still July, which makes them befuddled. The table around Emily begins freezing and Sub-Zero appears from a good ways, assaulting individuals close by. Fortunately, the family is saved by Jax, who drives them from the professional killer. To acquire Cole's trust, he shows a similar mythical beast blemish on his body to him, letting him know that he has been decided to battle. Jax heads out to confront Sub-Zero while requesting Cole to drive his family to security and afterward proposes he tracks down Sonya Blade. Freezing baits him to a neglected structure where he freezes Jax's firearm with his power. Jax battles him, however the professional killer is simply excessively solid as he freezes and breaks both of his arms, leaving him dead. Cole drops his family at a safe house and afterward makes a beeline for Sonya's area. Then again, it is uncovered that Shang and his men have been cheating in the competition all the time by sending professional killers before the competition even begins. Cole shows up at a junkyard where Sonya at first assaults him, until he shows her the winged serpent mark. She brings Cole into her holder where she uncovers that Jax accepted his imprint subsequent to overcoming a man with the imprint. It is straightforwardly moved to the person mark holder. She additionally specifies an old competition between domains and species called Mortal Kombat. Sonya then, at that point, presents Kano, a hired soldier who moreover, has an imprint and is caught by Sonya, to Cole. A couple of seconds after the fact, An imperceptible reptile breaks into the compartment and assaults them. Its salivation is destructive and Kano utilizes this open door to break him free. He battles the reptile and figures out how to dispose of the beast by pulling out its heart out of its chest. Sonya is frantic since all his examination was singed in the assault. Kano realizes that the lady is attempting to get to Raiden's sanctuary and he knows the specific area of the spot. Sonya deceives the hired soldier and offers him $3 million to direct her and Cole to the sanctuary, which he consents to. Utilizing Cole's companion's plane, they head into the desert and hop off the plane utilizing parachutes. After a long walk, one of the bosses from the sanctuary, Liu Kang, approaches them and shows his fire capacity to the gathering. He accompanies them to the sanctuary where they see canvases of past competitions among Earthrealm and Outworld. Liu Kang urges that the preparation should begin quickly since, in such a case that the bosses fizzle to find their internal power, they will lose the competition. Sonya then, at that point, meets the perishing Jax, who is being recuperated by the priests in the sanctuary. From that point forward, Liu Kang presents all the excess Earthrealm champions to Master Raiden, who is unsatisfied with their quality. He clarifies that Outworld has won 9 straight triumphs in the competition and the whole human race will be subjugated on the off chance that they lose the final remaining one. Out of nowhere, Sub-Zero shows up at the sanctuary and battles Liu Kang. Kung Lao comes to help his cousin with his steel cap. Shang Tsung and Mileena likewise make an appearance to assault. However, Raiden mediates and makes a lightning hindrance to keep the Outworld from proceeding with their assault. When the miscreants leave, they start the preparation to open Cole and Kano's internal power or Arcana. Notwithstanding, Sonya isn't permitted to join as she doesn't have the mythical serpent mark on his body. Jax at long last stirs and finds that he currently has mechanical arms. He attempts to utilize them. However, he feels pointless as he is getting more vulnerable than previously. Sonya propels him to continue onward and battling. Cole battles Kung Lao, the contender, yet gets whipped, without any problem by him. Then again, Kano additionally gets his butt kicked by Liu Kang, even without utilizing his firepower. While Liu Kang is mending Cole's injuries, the firebender shares that the Arcana possibly happens when the holder has tracked down their motivation of life. While the heroes are eating, Kano keeps waste talking, which causes Kung Lao and Liu Kang to become irritated, reprimanding him as a canine that is weak and has zero ability. Irritated, Kano unexpectedly releases his Arcana by terminating a laser pillar directly from his right eye and is extremely content with his new capacity. The following day, in the wake of preparing, Raiden approaches Cole, saying he is a useless boss and will be a responsibility without his Arcana, despite the fact that the winged serpent mark shows that he is plunged from Hanzo's bloodline, explicitly from the child Raiden protected in the start of the film. Cole surrenders and Raiden opens an entryway, sending him back to his family. In the Outworld, Shang Tsung accumulates more contenders, Nitaro, Kabal, Reiko, and Prince Squirrel for the forthcoming competition. Turns out that Kabal has an individual resentment with Kano, what's more proposes an arrangement to break into Raiden's boundary. Kabal covertly meets Kano in the sanctuary and persuades him to delude the bosses and enlist in Shang Tsung's military, offering him huge load of cash assuming that he goes along with him. He consents to the deal and annihilates the wellspring of the hindrance utilizing his laser. From that point forward, Shang Tsung's military shows up at the sanctuary with Kano currently on their side. Jax battles Reiko yet is overwhelmed. Kabal approaches Liu Kang and it is an even battle. Sonya battles Mileena, who figures out how to cut her with his blade, yet she chooses not to kill her since Sonya isn't one of the bosses, meaning her passing will be useless. Kano then, at that point, appears and endeavors to smash her with a stone. Jax attempts to help Sonya, permitting him to change his mechanical arms into the further developed ones. He lifts the rock, also protects her. Kung Lao endeavors to assault Shang Tsung with his cap, however Nitara intercedes. With his smoothness, he figures out how to dispose of the beast. In the meantime, Goro shows up at Earthrealm, furthermore follows Cole and his family. Cole battles the Forgave Orc, however he is outpowered. The Orc then endeavors to assault Allie and Emily. Wanting to safeguard his family, Cole opens his arcana, which covers his body with a brilliant shield and permits him to make cutting edges to assist him with battling Goro. It is presently an even battle. Cole figures out how to remove one of the arms and kills the orc with a cutting edge. Raiden understands that and gathers Cole back to the sanctuary, uncovering that the Hasashi bloodline actually lives on. With his power, Raiden endeavors to free the heroes once again from the sanctuary. However, Kung Lao is abandoned and Shang Tsung sucks his spirit out, killing him and compelling Liu Kang to watch. They show up at the void where the Outworld reprobates can't follow them. Liu Kang loses his expectation and Raiden uncovers that all divine beings are prohibited to mediate in the conflict. He then, at that point, gives up Hanzo's kunai to Cole that was recuperated after his passing, proposing him to utilize it. Cole proposes that they need to separate and battle the miscreants in a 1-versus-1 duel. Jax rematches with Reiko while Liu Kang and Cole are confronting Mileena what's more Cabal. This time Jax is more ready and figures out how to retaliate. He heartlessly punches Reiko and polishes him off with the last strike. On the opposite side, Sonya rematches with Kano in her holder. She ultimately tosses a jug of CH32CO towards him, for a brief time debilitating his laser expertise. The battle proceeds and the two of them are lost the window. Sonya at long last figures out how to take out Kano and his stamping is passed down to her. Back to Liu Kang and Cole, the battle is exceptionally extreme where the two of them are trading punches with more cuts with their adversaries. In any case, eventually, Liu Kang projects a fire mythical beast that consumes Cabal and chars him. Sonya goes to help Cole and utilizations her freshly discovered arcana power, permitting her to fire a plasma pillar which kills Mileena on the spot. In the interim, Sub-Zero shows up at Cole's family refuge and seizes Allie and Emily. Cole is tricked to a structure where Sub-Zero freezes his family alive. Cole is incensed and battles the most grounded professional killer. Notwithstanding, the scoundrel is still excessively solid for him. Whenever Cole's blood contacts the kunai, Hanzo is brought back from Hellfire and hits Sub-Zero with his weapon. This time, Hanzo changes his name to Scorpion. They take part in a battle while Cole attempts to save his better half and little girl with his power. With Cole's assistance, it currently turns into a 2-versus-1 battle. The two of them figure out how to corner the professional killer and trap him with the chain. Scorpion opens his cover, let the Scalawag know that he controls Heck, and consumes Sub-Zero ridiculously. Allie and Emily are safeguarded and prior to vanishing, Scorpion says thanks to Cole for liberating him and orders him to keep his bloodline alive. Raiden and the others at last show up and the Thunder God is intrigued when he discovers that Sub-Zero has been crushed. Not long later, Shang Tsung appears to recover the body of the professional killer. Furthermore, the warriors. He cautions the heroes of the Earthrealm that he will return with more armed forces, however Raiden takes him back to Outworld. He lets the heroes know that they are successful today, however they should assemble and prepare one more hero as the adversaries are as yet out there. Toward the finish of the film, Cole is seen at the exercise center and lets the advertiser know that he is stopping, furthermore going to Hollywood to track down somebody. The camera then, at that point, skilleth over to show what Cole's identity is searching for, Johnny Cage. Buy in to observe more recordings like this, turn on notices, and pass on a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.